We already have a candidate.
Yay!
You have to have at least as many check-ins as Sebastian.
I like it. But it goes through pull requests, and I validate them. Unless Nick does them, and I reject, or Antoine, and I reject, and
Spidey, with
So,
great power comes great responsibility, okay?
yeah. Orchard roadmap. Just to see what's next. So the goal of this session is to see what we have to do next, like from today to the next major version. Today we are on 1.8 release, major release. Next one will be 1.9, not 1.10, or could be a 2.0. We'll see. So one thing we did when we shipped 1.8 is, as usual, we made a poll. What do you want to work on next? Okay, and I just suggested what I wanted to work on. So you can just select things that I want to do. Okay, that's fine. I just let you decide what. So if we go to this page, this is this is on the forums. Okay, published April 1st, and IDs. What do you want? IDs, and people answered by ordering the same IDs or just proposing new ones. So very interesting. It's always interesting, even if we disagree. One thing which was suggested and that people voted on was audit trail. And I will explain what it is. Deployment, how to deploy your Orchard. REST API. You must agree with everything, okay? We will. You can't disagree with that. The agreement will be on what's the priority. Dynamic layout. You can't disagree. Localization. Gert can disagree, or all the European, non-UK guys. Okay. You care about localization, okay? They are Spanish, so nobody speaks Spanish, so they have to localize it. And some guys said, you need to solve the current problems before trying to create new ones, okay? Please think there's like 15,000 bugs open, something like that. Zoltan is counting one by one. We fixed 2 last week and triaged 15. That's not enough. We need to do triaging. And also a customizable dashboard. So that when you open Orchard, it's not like, oh, welcome to Orchard. No, I don't use Orchard. I use the veterinary royalty, whatever. I don't know what is a website, but this is not Orchard. What is Orchard? The customer doesn't care about Orchard, doesn't want to look at the Orchard documentation, so they want a custom dashboard. And then fix the bugs. Stop. Really? So they really don't care about new features. They can no, fix the bugs. And a few of you said, maybe documentation. So this is the last in the you missed everything.
Choking down?
And the phone, you missed the phone. Okay. So first, audit trail. What is audit trail? So there is no specific order. It's just about discussing what we should have in Orchard. Whatever version it comes in, we will need audit trail. What is audit trail? I took from Wikipedia. Okay. They know the truth. An audit trail, and I will just read, sorry, is a security-relevant chronological record. Set of records or destination and source of record that provide documentary evidence of the sequence of activities that have affected at any time a specific operation, procedure, or event. Okay? That's an event log for security. What happened in the website in terms of security? Who logged in, logged out, who changed the content, who disabled the feature, who whatever. Okay, it's really whatever. But the key thing here is because it's for security reasons, we can't change that. Okay, So nobody can remove an audit trail record. So if Martin says, oh, I didn't change the content item yesterday, that's not me. Well, we have an audit trail which shows that it was you with this username at this time with this IP address. That's you, sorry, you can't deny that. Okay, right, that's me. So this is the goal. This is part of the security. And this is very important for many applications. So some use cases. Be able to see the full history of a content item. Part of the audit trail is to be able to trace what has changed over time on a content item, and thus be able to see all the versions of a content item. Something we already have in our trail is just hidden. Nobody can see that. We have all the versions, we have all the content, but you can't surface these values. So the audit trail module will be able to do that. So example, who modified a content item, what was modified, and when was it modified? The goal will be to have in the content page, when you list all the content items, like today we have a link to publish and publish, edit, view. There will be a link added which will say history. Okay, and then it goes to a page which lists all the modifications of this content item. Another idea is to be able to see a global history of a website. So when you go to the audit trail page, you will see everything which happened chronologically on the website, and you can follow it. Filter by user. So, okay, Martin, we don't trust him, okay? Weird guy, changing everything all the time. So we want to track what he did. And so you filter by user, and then you see what happened with it. Filter by date. So you can say, oh, there's an issue. Yesterday there was an issue. Somebody changed that. So can we just filter for a specific date or hour or a range of time? I think that's important too. By category event. Every audit trail record should be categorized. Should have a type like user authentication, and subcategory could be login, logout. And then you can filter by these categories. So you can see exactly who logged in or logged out on a specific date or for a specific user. And you could say also what content items have been changed. Okay, this is a different category event. And also be able, for a specific version or a specific change, to be able to see the content item at this version. Okay? So you can see how it was 2 days ago and what it is now. And maybe also, actually, from a previous version, how to say, well, the div is, yeah, the diff, and also, how to say that, go back in time, restore this version. Oh, this is the version I want. Oh, please restore this one, and it's now the published one, because we made a mistake, or Martin made a mistake. Is there anyone named Martin here? That's fine. Sometimes it happens, and not. I could have said Nick, but I like you. Okay. And sorry, I forgot this one. Archiving. So audit trail records, if there are lots of events, might take a lot of space. You might want to be able to extract it, archive it, because for security reasons, how to say that, legal reasons, you might have to record and save somewhere safe all the activity on your website. Okay. So that's another use case. And about security, audit trail record can be deleted. Because if you can delete an audit trail record, you can cheat. You can always delete something in a database, but the UI should not let you delete anything. Okay. If you have access to database, that's fine. We can't prevent it from happening. We can add permissions for instance, viewing an audit trail, because you might want standard users not to be able to see what happened, or to be able to change audit trail settings. So for instance, audit trail settings will let you define which events you want to track, because you might just want to track login and logouts. That's it, or failed logins. Or maybe you just want to track content items changes, and you don't want to bloat the database with all of that what you don't care about. Some words on implementing that. What we need is an audit trail part that you can attach to any content type or any content item. And this part would let you add a specific comment. So when you edit a content item which has this audit trail part, you can type a comment, what you changed, to explain the modification. And you will be able to see that in the list of audit trails events. On audit trail event provider, could let you provide new kinds of events. So any feature, any module can provide new audit trail events. So you can say the role module will come with some events, the content item module will come with some events, and maybe a module you have on the web will do that. And audit trail record will just be able to store the audit trail itself. But what could be done also is to make the storage of audit trails extensible, so that by default we save it in the database. But if you have a legal system which is protected from alteration or handles archiving or is validated by your company, you could say, no, I want to store my audit trail records in SharePoint, whatever, records management. Okay? You will be able to do that. And I think that's the last one. So what I need to say is that it's almost done. Because Sipke, that we all like, I could say so many jokes now, but I won't. He's working on that with Daniel at the iDeliverable company. Yeah, so you remember that they made the Azure Media Services module because they were contracted by the Microsoft OpenTech guys, and they also contracted them to create the audit trail module because we have some customers who need that. Can we say that? They don't listen. So the customers are just in the front row. They are the, can we say that? They are the Halo team, the Halo website, the Halo game. They have a website, they do it with Orchard, and they need that, so they financed someone to create the module. And I think that's a very good way to do that, because I have much less work, and it's done very fast, quality product, everyone's happy. So very soon we'll have that in Orchard Core. It's already, some part has already started, so it's already something public on the branch. I don't know if you try that, but it's public already, sorry. Next module, I want to talk about deployment. 1 year ago, I promised I would do it in 1 month. And I can promise today it won't be done in next month. But we still need that. What is it about? Today there is a module made by Damien Clark, and I think he's in New Zealand.
Australia.
Australia? Same thing. There, it's southwest, okay? For you, it's southeast, but for me, it's southwest. Very nice guy. And 2 years ago, he made a, one and a half, 2 years, something like that. He made a module named Orchard Module WNG Deployment. So the goal, so this is a link to the gallery. The module is on the gallery, it works very, very well. The goal of this module is to be able to create, to publish a website from a dev box to a production box. So you have your website running locally. You configure it to push all the data which is on the website, or the new data, or the data you want, to push it on a production box. So I think on the Umbraco side, it's called Courier. They have one. I think it's Courier. So they have that. They have this, and it's awesome. So I think we should have that, and I'm sure you will also think so. The issue with the module that is done is that it can be improved. For instance, it's missing extensibility points. It's missing complex plans to deploy data, because it's not just about selecting a bunch of data. Sometimes it might be more complex than that. I will show you some example. And it can't export assets like CSS, images, views, anything that could be new on your dev box that is not on the production box. You might also want to publish at the same time as metadata and data. So there's a design on the web I published on the forum which explains everything that I think should be done in this module. Either it's this module if you want to help, or if we need to create a new module. But what we need is be able to define a list of content sources to be able to deploy. For instance, bundles. A bundle will be a set of content items. You know that this page and this product and this media item have to be pushed to the server. This is what I call a bundle. You could also want to create a query, as in the projector module. So let's say you can say, I want all my products from the last week with a specific property to be pushed on production. Okay. This is a query. You could also say, I want my views to be pushed on the production. You can also say, I want these new content types or these updated settings to be pushed on production. And also, you could say, oh, I want you to go on the server, on the production server, to see what's there, to make a diff with the local things, CSS, views, content, media, whatever you think about, and push everything which is new, okay, like a synchronization. And everything here could be combined to create a deployment plan. And you could have as many deployment plans as you want. So you could say every Friday, we push the news. Every Sunday, we push the media plus the metadata, things like that. So you could be able to say things like this. Yeah. And another concept would be to have a deployment channel. So when you say what to push, you want to know how to push it. You could use Web API on the production side, which would be an endpoint, so that your dev side will communicate with your production side using Web API, so through HTTP. It could be FTP. You could go both production side and dev side, read and write on an FTP website, FTP storage. And as the dev side, you will push a package on this FTP, and the production side will pull this FTP to look if there is something to pull and add to the production. So that's another way. Another channel could be Git. So you can use Git like a FTP. You just push some package on Git, and the production website will pull from the Git repository. And the nice thing is that you can even have history for free with that. And the goal is to make it extensible. So we could say, oh, we just provide the Web API one. But you could create modules to provide new ways of moving data across machines. On top of deployment plans and deployment channels, you might want processors. A processor will be like an event-driven logic, which would, when you want to create a package with all the content you need to push, will load this, or will inspect this package and update it. For instance, your logic will say, oh, I pushed a new module which was not on the server. But actually, this module has some dependencies, so a processor could resolve the dependencies and add other modules to that. Or if you push assets like CSS file, you could say, oh, I have a processor which will minify all the CSS files before going to production. Just examples. Again, extensibility so that you can have any ID, crazy ID, that you will add as a processor just before it's pushed. I had bullet points for that. Awesome. So that's the idea. So right now, no plans that's been decided. Nobody has paid for that. So if you want that, pay someone to do it. Okay? You can pay Sipke, but it's becoming quite rich now, so you should take someone else. Okay? Asia Media Services, Audit Trail. Yeah. Nick has nothing to do. Look at that. He's like brown. So many vacations that you don't work. You don't have enough work. Ask for it. You could do the deployment. So. Next module I like to see in Orchard personally is the REST API module. So the current set of this module is that we have an OData module that a French guy made. It's French, must be awesome. Okay. This is Orchard module, orchard.odata. And this is a website where we can play with, actually. You will see it's awesome. So if I go there, I clicked from a PowerPoint, it works. OK. It's a big bunch of data, so maybe the OData definition model. And I have other. Doesn't work. Trust me. So some examples of filters that you can apply in the OData. That's an existing module. It works. So we could use that. Another example will be what Halo is doing, but later, tomorrow. Bing is our guy, the guy in the back of the. This is a dev from Halo team, and tomorrow we will talk about something like this. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know. And these two things are two websites. I didn't know OSMEC. I discovered it yesterday. Prismic.io is also very good because French guys, again. is not just about wine and cuisine or whatever. They do websites and web stuff too. So this website is actually a service. They provide REST APIs as a service. So they have a CMS, but their CMS doesn't have any front end. It's just a backend like Orchard to manage the content with APIs. No front end at all, okay? No theming, they don't have any issues. No theming issues, wow. They host their service, you pay for that, okay. But the nice thing is that, yeah, you just manipulate content and you as a developer, you create your SPA application or your PHP application, your Windows Phone application, you just point to their service and you get your content from that. So I think that's a very good idea. And I like to see that also with Orchard because we have the front end, but we don't have to use the front end if we want. That's what Samuel is doing most of the time. Okay, you are using web APIs to get the data and creating a website. So that's very flexible. Yeah, so what I would like to see in a REST API is a set of reusable features because APIs can be completely different based on each module. But all the time we will need, for instance, authentication and security on a REST API. You will need serialization, and you need the same serialization logic across all your APIs. Because if you want to provide content items through these APIs, you want all your REST APIs to provide the same schema of the result, like the same JSON, the same XML, the same logic. So we need a core API to do that. Materialization, because when we serialize a content item, maybe the data we want to serialize is not exactly the raw data. For instance, let's say your content item has a media field. The property you would have will be a local URL. In the database, we have a local URL. But when you expose it publicly, you don't want to know anything about local URL. You want the public URL. So we need something to alter what from the data to what is exposed to the client. So I call it materialization. It can be called whatever you want. Pagination. Maybe we need tools to make paginated results, just like this. For instance, here is what it could look like if we had some REST API in the content manager. It could be like, okay, whatever URL page / documents / 123 to get content item IDs number 123. Okay, everything being secured by authentication and whatever, okay, permissions and everything. We could have, give me all the products and page 1, okay, and take 10. This is just an example, but this will be very, very useful. And this could be just a feature of the content types module, and that will be there. And we could also update an existing content item just by calling the same using the same JSON document, but using a put request instead of a get request. And that will use the import features to import the data into Orchard. We already have that. The projector could expose all the queries using REST APIs. So if you have a query named all products, as in the projector module, you could say /query / all products, and it will execute the query. Or give me the page 1, okay? Another example, Lucene. Lucene could be used as a search query, as a REST API engine. So for instance, /API, because it's in the Lucene engine, /search, and then the Lucene query, whatever it is. Or it could be the same thing as in the content manager, and you will transform the content manager query to a Lucene query. That's up to anyone to create features like that. We could also have REST APIs for content definition to be able to list all the content types and their metadata. You could even think about having websites which will list all the types you have on the website and do generic websites to do that. It's crazy, but you could do that. Just an idea. Another thing, so just for the Spanish guys, you are from Spain, okay? That's why.
He's Italian. Yeah, but I speak Spanish.
Same thing, Italian. Same sea, this is the same sea, so they eat the same fishes, that's fine. Localization, well, you have the same issue, Italy, Spanish, localization, sure. Localization. Improvements, this is an euphemism. What we could do on top of what we have for localization is, well, right now, today we have a localization part. This thing is actually, whenever you attach the localization part to a content type, every content item of every culture will be duplicated, and they will all point to their master content item. So you have as many content items for a page as you have cultures. One content item for English, one content item for Spanish, one for Italian, one for French, and so on. So when you go to the content page and you look for the home page, you will find it 4 times for each culture, okay? And that's a mess, a real mess. And you can't filter. That's the biggest issue. So what we need to do is to add filters, like in drop-downs, to be able, when we're on the content page, to see just the ones for my current culture I care about, okay? Because if I'm English, I don't speak Spanish, so I just want to see my English content items. And the opposite, if I'm Spanish, I don't speak English. That's well known. Italian, French, and Spanish guys don't speak English, okay? You agree? Well, worst in the world, okay? We could also implement that in the navigation. Today, if you manage your menu items, it will be all messed up. All the content items will be in the same menu. That's ugly. That's unusable. I don't know what you do today, but I don't want to know. Maybe we should make it automatic, like in widget. Widget actually checks that. So when we display a widget in the widget menu, we check if the content item has the iLocalization part, iLocalization aspect. And if it has that, we check the culture. And if it's not the current culture, we don't display it. So it's kind of, but that's the only way, the only place in Orchard which has that. That's kind of sad. And also another request which has been suggested is having global fields, meaning if you have a product content type and you have a SKU, single stock unit.
Stop keeping it.
Stop. I checked it before and thank you. Stock keeping unit, something else. The stock keeping unit is the same across all languages. But if you have the localization part on your product, you will have different text boxes with blanks by default on that. So you can't reuse the same value across languages. So the idea would maybe to create global fields that, by definition, when you create a SKU field based on a global text field, or with an option on the text field, maybe even better, this will be the same value across languages, okay? And that would be awesome. Or maybe just available in the master object. But I think this is also required for multilingual websites. SKU, okay. Another one, dynamic layout. This is my favorite. This is what I think will make Orchard more popular across among developers. This is actually what George showed us yesterday, what they have in OneStop, but better, okay, like usual. Otherwise, I will not talk about it. I will just take it, and thank you, George. What can we do better? So today we have OneStop module, and we also have Sipke's module. I will say iDeliverable because I think it's the owner on the gallery. What Sipke has done, and I think it's nice. I like it. I like you too, George. The goal from Sipke's module is to be able to add widgets per page. So you don't have to create a layer for a page and have all your widgets in the same thing. Did you see the Travis demonstration when he showed the widgets with the 256 widgets? I don't want to be the user behind that. Where is this content? There is not even a search engine for that. So what Sipke has done is that for a specific page, you can define the widgets. In the end, it will work the same. It's kind of a layer rule, but for a specific page. But from a user's perspective, when you want to edit your content, you see which widgets will appear in this context of this page. And I think that's very nice. And I think this is what is missing in OneStop's module. The fact that, tell me if I'm wrong, but what I like to see, no, not again. I don't learn from my mistakes. No, I'm not. Okay. I think he will get the message. Sorry. Why are you making fun of me? So what's missing? Container's lifetime. What I like to see is when you're in the context of a page, which has this layout, I like to see all the content items or the pieces of information which are attached to this page available, like the content, the text, the images, whatever, will have the same lifetime as the page. So when I add my content, it's not a separate content item. For instance, in Sipke's module, when you try to add a widget to a page, it will first save the widget because the new content item will point to the other content item. And actually, on my page, I have 10 content items instead of 1. Okay? And that can be an impact on the performance. So let's say now that these pieces of information are not external content items, but are just properties and structured properties or complex properties on top of the current content item, then they will have the same lifetime of the page. So if I say unpublish, everything is unpublished. If I say publish, everything is published. It's the same thing. Okay? They are not different elements. I don't know how it works in the one-stop layout right now. I just know that for Sipke, it's not the case. And I think it should behave like that. Also, I need drag and drop. I will not be able to use your module. The example you showed yesterday, which was very complex for the homepage, it's a complex homepage, but it was a big list of things, and I don't know where it is and how it looks like. I see lots of numbers. It's not attractive, okay? And it's very useful, but it's not attractive. And other CMSs have drag and drop. When you look at Sitefinity, that's just, I think it is awesome. You drag a column, you drag a new row, you drag a content, and it's there. And actually, you have all the infrastructure. We just need a drag and drop interface. Because internally, it's the same thing. You don't drag, you just add columns and rows and elements inside. It's just about the UI. My point of view. Yeah, and when I say include container elements, I like to be able to drag and drop rows and containers and columns, because maybe I don't know, I want to be recursive, like make a row which has other rows and other columns. Can you do that? You can do that? Okay, great. I'd also like to see inline editing in the admin. In the admin. I stop you, okay? Inline editing in the admin. Not to have to fight with every different front end and tagging that they have and could conflict and the CSS with the inline editing you will provide. And maybe in the front end it's too small to edit the things. I need more things and more options and the bold and the italic and select a media and things like that, which I can provide on the front end. I will not be able to provide it on the front end. But on the back end, we maintain a back end, we can provide it. So maybe I drag and drop a paragraph, and it's like the body part today. I have the editor, and I just type, okay? And it's in place in the layout. I drag and drop a new row. It's just under, and I can drag and drop an image. And okay, it's a placeholder for an image. I click, I have a pop-up, I select my image, and it's in place, okay? It's not on the side. So that's what I would like to see. Next one, the admin theme. Today we have Antoine, French guy. What? No, just where are you guys? Okay. Just French guys are doing awesome. No, they are not French. I didn't mention it. So he's doing that on the Bootstrap framework because we need an admin theme which is responsive. We need more UI elements by default to provide more flexibility in the admin. We need a customizable dashboard. Widgets so that we can customize the dashboard for each customer, because each customer has different needs. If you have an e-commerce, you want maybe to see your sales or the new products or whatever. I don't know. And if I manage a pet website, maybe I want to see all my pets. I don't know. We need a search bar to do search everywhere. I took it from Ilan. We need content organization. I took it from Bertrand. The tree module that he has, which lets you organize the content as you want and not by kind of thing. Like today we have if you want to create a taxonomy, well, if you want to create something which is a taxonomy, you go to taxonomies and you create this thing. But for a user, taxonomies might not make any sense. If you say speaker, oh, that makes sense. it's actually a taxonomy sometimes, a speaker, because it's across sessions, for instance. But as a taxonomy doesn't make sense for users, so maybe we need to organize the content or be able, as developers, to organize the content as the customer, the end user, wants it. So that's the idea. Now, 10 minutes to talk about not the modules, but the ecosystem. What we need in Orchard as an ecosystem. We need a new website. The current one has been there for more French guys. We're just talking about French people. You don't know the context. So we need a new website. We currently actually have an effort for a new website. So maybe most of you don't know about it if you don't watch the meetings. But we have that. So the Web Advanced company made some analysis and a theme about what should be in a new website. All the information which is needed is here. We have templates. I don't know why it's gray, but maybe it's better. So it looks like a draft. Show all the current websites that are running on Orchard. The features we have, community projects, the partners, sponsors, community page, documentation links, the weekly podcast, download links for quick jumps to really what you care about, and things. So and yeah, goals and okay. So the analysis is done. It's well done. We kind of gave lots of feedback on it, and they took it into account. So that's kind of design. Now we are looking for someone to do that. Okay, it should be easy with Orchard. You want to be MVPs?
I'm in.
Okay. Yeah, so it's there. You just need a bootstrap theme. We know a bootstrap theme here. We need I don't know, and that's it. Boom, copy paste, done. and you will be eternally in my heart. Okay. Gallery. We need a new gallery. We need to fix what's not today in the gallery. We need extension harvester. Example, we need to be able to pull modules from Git repositories, from Dropbox, from anything. It's easier for us to pull from where it's currently in than for you to push it, because you are lazy. It's proven. Every day you prove it to me. You are really lazy. Nick, sorry to wake you up. How many modules do you have in the gallery?
I don't know, 8, 9, 10.
How many modules do you have on a Git repository?
I don't know, like 20.
You see? He's so lazy, he doesn't want to put them on the gallery. How many versions do you have on the gallery? How many versions do you have on GitHub? Even more. Like,
I couldn't tell you.
yeah, you can't even tell. Too big number.
It's too many.
So the idea is that you will not have to push your latest updates on the module because you do it every day, and it's such a pain in the gallery to push a new module that okay, don't do that. We'll take it for you, build the package for you, and publish it in the gallery. Okay? You just need to push into master with a new version, and we'll see it and we'll take it. I think this will be much better for the gallery. If you want to push your files in Dropbox, push your file in Dropbox. Tell us where it is, give us the rights. We can do whatever we want on that and take it. Webhooks, so that when GitHub gets a new commit, we can detect that and see if it's a new version and take it and make it available. Polling to see if there are new versions, and also who is using the multi-level categories in the gallery. Like on the left, there is modules and themes, but on the left there is administration. I don't even know what there is. One guy, okay? I'm sure we can remove the feature. We don't care about it. He will be MVP in 2 years because he makes the website. We won't care. So I think maybe we should just simplify it and just have themes and modules. Question. and just make it search-based, because today when you look for a module, you just search for it. You type Bootstrap, and you don't care if it's in the, I don't know, theming category, search Bootstrap, and you get it. And most, you don't know what it is. That's funny. You don't even know what it is about. So the idea is that when you take something from the gallery, it doesn't work. It never works. It just works for the guy who pushed the module at the time he pushed it, which means for never. So the goal is to have a way for the gallery to know if a module works on a specific version. So like in WordPress.
I have another idea. If I download a module, it doesn't work, there's a simple fix. I fix it by forking it. Can I add my fork to the previous, to what you described previously? So there is an existing module. I want to say, okay, well, this module seems to be abandoned or whatever.
Good
I
idea.
can make it
So
work.
yeah,
Can I add my fork?
So you could add your fork to an existing module, so you could even see the module itself and the forks for it. And oh, it's another version, but it's a fork. We don't care. It's a module too. So we could group them by modules, and you could fix it. And maybe you could say, oh, this is a new one, or whatever. But yeah, the goal for that is that the gallery will display which version of Orchard this module works on or is compatible with, which versions, because 1.7 might work, 1.8 not work, and 1.9 will work again, and so on. And how to make it is not to let the developer say that, because you don't know. You have your version, and you know it works on your version. What will be done is that each user will say, works on my machine, and not from Orchard. And Orchard knows its version, so it could say to the gallery, oh, the guy said this module on the gallery works on his machine. It works on 1.8. And we will say, OK, we have 10 votes for works on 1.8. And we have 0 vote or 1 vote for works on 1.7. So you know already what version it will work on. And maybe Orchard will know it too, and not let you download or say, are you sure, because nobody says it's working. Yes, I want to try. That's the idea. This is what WordPress does. Okay? So I think that this is a good idea. And the last point, and maybe it will introduce the next session, is about that. And it's a blank slide.
You forgot to document it?
No, because I'm sure Ilan will have some question about it. No? You don't want to ask some questions? There's something you have to say about it.
I think you meant to say blank slate.
Versus slide. It's a blank slate, meaning the opportunity is there for everyone to participate.
Yeah, that's it. And this is why I wanted you to ask a question. You want to ask a question? Oh, so I think, so the idea is, what do you want as documentation? And just prioritize what is needed so that we can, if we do something, do what you want. Doesn't mean we'll do anything. Just means we know what you want.
It'll also mean that the other people in the
Community who might be interested in documenting would know what most people would benefit from.
Yeah, I agree. I think there is no other slide. No, that's it. Thank you. Questions?